There are running backs going outside the top 100 picks in casual leagues that have major upside this year, and your league mates don't realize it. Luckily for you, after this video, you will. Let's start with AJ Dillon, currently pick 112 on ESPN and 98 on Yahoo. And I get it, last year there was a lot of AJ Dillon buzz. I was on AJ Dillon last year, and it kind of looked like maybe it was going to happen, and then it kind of didn't happen, and then it kind of happened again. But I'm not ready to give up on AJ Dillon yet. He had almost 50% of the snaps last year. He had almost 50 targets. He was definitely involved in this offense. Speaking of targets, he's seen his targets increase each year of his career. He's gone from a guy who was like not a pass catcher at all to a guy kind of involved in the passing game, and that's important. Also, he's clearly the goal line back here. When you look at it last year, attempts inside the 5-yard line, AJ Dillon had 10 and Aaron Jones only had 2. When they get near the goal line, it's going to be AJ Dillon almost every time. And if this offense really does run more without Aaron Rodgers, as some people are speculating, it's going to be AJ Dillon because he's younger and he's bigger and he's built to handle that kind of workload. Aaron Jones is still a fine player, but if they actually commit to the run more, it's going to be more AJ Dillon than Aaron Jones. And of course, we know if Aaron Jones goes down, AJ Dillon becomes an absolute workhorse in this offense, getting almost all the touches. And Aaron Jones is a 29-year-old running back, close to the 1,300 touch mark. We can't act like he has no chance of injury. AJ Dillon is definitely a guy that can give you flex value on most weeks, touchdown upside in good matchups, with the potential to be an every week RB1 if Aaron Jones goes down. Brian Robinson at pick 118 on ESPN and 94 on Yahoo is absolutely shocking to me because this guy is a workhorse running back going this late in fantasy drafts. In 8 of his 12 games last year, he had 15 or more carries, and he had 20 or more carries in 5 of those games. And remember, he was coming back from getting shot in the leg. He wasn't even 100% healthy yet. He should definitely be healthier entering year 2. He's even talked about it, how he feels better, he feels healthier, and he's locked into a workhorse role in this offense. This is a guy who should get 15 to 25 carries every single week, get chances to score touchdowns at the goal line, and you're getting him well outside pick 100. That's absurd. This is a guy who should be going much higher in drafts and isn't, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's just because he wasn't great last year, but I expect a better Brian Robinson this year. And when you're getting this kind of a guy with this kind of volume at this range, you have to draft this guy. And then there's Khalil Herbert, currently pick 131 on ESPN and 104 on Yahoo. Now, I've admittedly been on the fence about the Bears' backfield. I didn't really have a good feel about it, but I think we got a pretty clear indication here in preseason week 1. Because in that game, the Bears starters played 7 snaps, and Khalil Herbert was the only running back who got a snap with the starters. Deontay Foreman came in with the backups, and Rashawn Johnson, the rookie, looks like a distant third on the depth chart here. And we know Khalil Herbert is a good runner. He averaged 5.7 yards per carry last year, while also ranking 7th in yards per touch and 9th in yards created per touch. And in the 5 games he's played at least 60% of snaps, he's only scored under 10 PPR points once and has games of 30, 19, and 18 fantasy points. He could truly be the workhorse running back in the Bears offense, and he has legit top 24 upside at the position, and you're getting them outside the top 100 players. The confusion with the Bears backfield seems to be put to rest. Khalil Herbert is the guy you want. You also want Antonio Gibson at pick 127 on ESPN and 117 on Yahoo. I know I just talked about Brian Robinson being the workhorse, being the lead back, but Gibson's role is going to be really nice in this offense as well. He's gone over 40 catches each of the last 2 years despite only playing 50% of the snaps. And the Commanders' previous third down back, J.D. McKissic, is gone, which means Gibson now has a clear path to go over 50 catches. Also, he's still a major threat in the red zone as he ranked 15th among all running backs with 8 carries inside the 5-yard line. And if Robinson does get hurt, we know Antonio Gibson can handle the 3-down role. We've seen him do it. He can handle the early down work, the goal line work, and the passing down work. In PPR leagues, he'll be a low-end flex even with Brian Robinson there due to his passing game usage and his usage in the red zone. But like I said, if Brian Robinson goes down, Antonio Gibson becomes a must-start running back every single week. Don't miss him in your drafts. And I was also shocked to see rookie Zach Charbonnet at pick 156 on ESPN and 124 on Yahoo. File this under absolute insanity. Charbonnet is a guy typically going in the 8th round of most expert drafts, and you're getting them almost for free in your casual drafts. Yes, Kenneth Walker is going to be the lead back, but Charbonnet is going to have a role, especially in the passing game, but he's a good running back, a very talented running back that they used a 2nd-round pick on. He's going to get some work in the early downs as well. He also has the size and the break tackle ability to steal goal line work from Kenneth Walker, so it's not like he has no touchdown upside either. This is another guy like Antonio Gibson who will likely give you weekly flex value, low-end flex value in your PPR leagues, with the upside to be an absolute every week RB1 if Kenneth Walker is out of the picture. It's hard to say a player going this late is an absolute must draft, but Zach Charbonnet is a must draft in all of your casual leagues. Please take Zach Charbonnet. He truly could be a league winner this year. And then there's Elijah Mitchell, who was a league winner 2 years ago, currently going pick 165 on ESPN and 122 on Yahoo. And I get it. The knock on him is he can't stay healthy. And you're right, he can. He's a bit of an undersized back. He's not really built for a heavy workload. But he's a clear handcuff to Christian McCaffrey, and we know this is one of the best, if not the best, offense for running backs. And when you look at him in 2021 as a starter, he averaged 15 points per game in this offense. And we know Shanahan trusts him. Even last year when CMC was healthy, he still got 9 or more carries in 3 of the 5 games he played with CMC. And he got 2 or more red zone touches in 3 of those games as well. He's not necessarily a guy you're going to feel good starting if Christian McCaffrey is healthy, maybe in really soft matchups where he has a chance to score a touchdown or rip off a long run. But this guy is an elite handcuff with elite upside if something should happen to McCaffrey. And we can't act like McCaffrey isn't a risk. He's well over the 1,500 touch mark. He just had the second most touches of his entire career. And we just saw 2 years prior to last year, he only played 10 games in a 2-season stretch. It's not a huge stretch to think Christian McCaffrey may miss some games this year, and if that's the case, Mitchell becomes a must start. As does Tyler Allgeier if Bijan Robinson ever misses games, yet he's going pick 165 on ESPN and 126 on Yahoo. Bijan Robinson will be the clear lead back here. At best for Tyler Allgeier, it'll be a 60-40 split. It might be a 70-30 split. But 30 to 40% of this offense is enough, because we saw last year this is one of the most efficient rushing offenses in the NFL. And Allgeier was good last year, so I doubt they're just going to brush him to the side completely. They're not going to run Bijan completely into the ground. If Bijan gets hurt, fingers crossed he doesn't, Tyler Allgeier becomes the guy in this offense, and we already saw what he could do, and what he could do is fantastic. But even with Bijan healthy, I think he has enough value, especially against bad defenses, where he can score a touchdown, pick up some decent yardage to be a flex value, and like I said, he's a premium handcuff. Another handcuff that may not be quite to the level of Allgeier, but is still worth drafting, is Jaylen Warren at pick 168 on ESPN and 131 on Yahoo. There were many reasons Najee Harris busted last year, but the biggest one was probably Jaylen Warren taking on more of the passing game role than I expected. Despite playing only 31% of the snaps, he had 33 targets last year and 28 receptions. And we could definitely see that go up this year because Jaylen Warren wasn't like fantastic in the passing game, but he was sadly better than Najee Harris in the passing game. The downside is he's hardly going to get any carries, and he's going to get almost no red zone and goal line usage. He ranked 45th in red zone touches last year and only had 2 attempts inside the 5-yard line all season long. But the real reason you're drafting him is in case Najee Harris misses time. Now, Najee Harris has been quite arguably the most durable running back over the last 4 years. In fact, it's not even an argument. The guy has not missed a game in 4 years, even going back to college. But that doesn't mean it can't happen. Running back is a brutal position. We see running backs get hurt all the time. And if Najee gets hurt, Jaylen Warren is basically going to be the guy in this Pittsburgh offense. Now, he's not going to be an every week RB1. He's not anything special as a runner. He's not an incredible pass catcher, but he'll be an every week RB2 that you need to start. And then how about Tank Bigsby going as pick 169 on ESPN and 133 on Yahoo? Now, to be fair, I do think the Bigsby hype is getting a little bit out of control, but you can't ignore the potential. He was a good prospect coming out of college. All signs are that he's been a great pass catcher in camp, and he's a big enough guy to get goal line work and some early down work. But we also can't forget that Etienne is a great talent too. He was fantastic last year when he was used, and he's going to clearly be the lead back here. Bigsby isn't a guy I would draft hoping to get flex value out of him or any kind of weekly value. He's pretty close to just a pure handcuff in my opinion, but he's a great handcuff to have because if Etienne goes down, there's not much behind him. He's going to have a major role in this offense. He's a rookie running back. He's got juice. He's got talent. If he gets the opportunity, he could absolutely be great. And this is an offense you want a piece of this Jacksonville offense is on the rise, an emerging offense. So Bigsby, well worth one of your last picks. As is Ty Chandler of the Vikings, who's basically going undrafted in every league. Everyone is all excited about Alexander Mattison, but I've been spending this offseason trying to figure out who the number 2 is. Not because I think the number 2 guy is going to have a major role early. It's because I don't believe in Mattison. I don't believe he can hold up for 17 games, and I don't believe he can hold up efficiently for 17 games to where the Vikings don't start using other running backs. Well, it looks like we got our answer, and our answer is Ty Chandler, because in the first preseason game, he played way more than rookie Dwayne McBride, and he looked really good. He was breaking tackles, ripping off long runs, looked good in the passing game, and he even got plenty of praise from head coach Kevin O'Connell. Remember, they drafted him last year in the 5th round. They've seen him for a year. They know him. They trust him. I think he's clearly the number 2 here. And if he keeps impressing like this throughout camp and into the season, and Mattison struggles, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if he starts to eat into Mattison's work and eventually take over this backfield, because Mattison is the definition of a below average plotter running back. Now, to be fair, Chandler isn't some elite prospect either, but if he's looking better, I think eventually they're going to have to give him run. And of course, if Mattison can hold up to the 17 games and he misses time, Chandler likely will step into the number 1 role. This is a guy completely free in all of your drafts. He's a great handcuff to have. If nothing else, at least keep an eye on him. And if it starts to see signs that maybe he's taking over, grab him before your league mates do. Those 10 running backs have secret upside, but who are 6 players your league mates love that you shouldn't draft? Find out here.